Listen to me. If there was a wise man who would ever think of this, they would say in order to be superior to the man, you've got to be the man. For I am the man himself.
What is going on, guys? How you guys all doing tonight? This is the Club of the Man 1993. It's been a while since I made one of these videos, but we're here for a mixture of baseball news. So again, it's been a few months since I've last done a baseball news video. Again, it's just hard for me to try to squeeze it in with everything else I got going on so far. I've been, trying to keep, again, my baseball passion alive and whatnot, which I have been, excited about baseball season. Again, the Pirates, just, being back and forth, still not make me watch it all the time like I was, but I still try to keep up with some news, and I still try to post some thoughts on some news pieces as well. So this video, I'm not going to focus on every single thing going on about baseball. There's going to be just a couple topics I want to discuss in this video briefly. Going to kind of fly through it, and just go from there. Just a mixture, talking about, our World Series champions. We're going to talk about a couple injuries, mostly with coming from the World Series team, and a couple transactions, mainly a bulk of retirements, a position change happening next year, and I just found the other day, there is a stadium getting renamed. So that'll be our last topic. But again, we're going to get right to it. We're going to fly through these topics, and then I'll let you guys go. So, starting off here. First, congratulations to the Los Angeles Dodgers, who won the 2024 World Series. This is their second World Series victory in the past 5 years. The first one came in the pandemic-shortened 2020 season when they defeated the Tampa Bay Rays. I was rooting for the Rays that World Series, but it is what it is. They defeated the Yankees 4 games to 1. They defeated them in 5 games. Your MVP was Freddie Freeman, who had several clutch home runs during that World Series. He's now a two-time World Series winner. And didn't he win the World Series? Oh no, it was Jorge Soler who won the World Series MVP. I think it was. Wait, I can't remember who it was who won the World Series MVP when the Braves won in 2021. But Freddie Freeman is a two-time World Series champion, which is great to hear. He had some health issues with his son earlier on in the year, so it was kind of like a nice fitting full circle finish for him to finish up the season. And it was also Shohei Ohtani's first World Series victory, as he had not touched the postseason while with the Angels, and the first of his big, massive 10-year contract with the Dodgers, which I called a while ago. He was going to go to the Dodgers. He does, in fact, win the World Series, and maybe on track to get the MVP award, as well as he had a spectacular season at the plate. He didn't pitch because he had Tommy John surgery. He should be ready to pitch in 2025. Speaking of which, Ohtani was one of an injury subject, as he almost had to get his postseason run get cut short, as he did suffer a shoulder injury, which was ended up being a torn labrum. He did finish off the series. I think he hurt it sliding into second base, but he finished off the series. And he did get arthroscopic shoulder surgery on a torn labrum. He is expected to be ready for spring training, and hopefully we'll be seeing him back on the mound as well. Again, after a season with a bad elbow, he hits 50 home runs, 50 stolen bases. Again, if they don't pick him as MVP, you're insane. But again, he's just something special. I already think you could consider Shohei Ohtani a future Hall of Famer. But yeah, he had that shoulder surgery. But he'll be ready for spring training. And then there's someone who's featured in doubt is Clayton Kershaw, who again had another injury-hampered season. After the season ended, he had some toe and knee surgeries as well. His player option was also declined by the Dodgers, but they think it's just them taking time to let Kershaw heal and they'll probably come back with another 1-year deal down the line. I know like 1 or 2 years ago there was talks about him maybe going to the Rangers because he is from Texas, but I really think at this point you'd be insane not to hold on to Clayton Kershaw for the Dodgers if he continues to play. It's like David Ortiz leaving the Red Sox. You'd be insane to let Kershaw go anywhere else besides the Dodgers. He is only just a handful of strikeouts away, though, from 3,000, I think, still. Once he hit the 3,000, though, I think he will be calling it then. But yeah, he'll be 37 in March, yes. He also, though, has not tossed 135 innings since 2019. Again, injuries and whatnot. But, of course, he actually was technically signed to a 2-year deal going this year, but they did decline the player option. But, again, it probably just going to work out something different for him to return. And then if he does sign, he probably, though, won't be back until this coming summer, which will be here, of course, before you know it. But yeah, so that's basically news with the Dodgers. Now to get to some retirements. I feel like I talked about this one already, but I can't remember. But longtime Colorado Rocky Charlie Blackmon did announce his retirement after this past season, ending the 4-time All-Star, ending a, I think, 19-year career. 14 seasons in the majors. Have played 17 years professionally. His entire run came with the Rockies. He was drafted as a lefty-hitting outfielder out of Georgia Tech in the second round. And he reached the big leagues 3 years after in the minor leagues. And I think he was definitely he also was the one who filled in for Dexter Fowler when Fowler was traded away in 2013. And he definitely was a strong player. He played, and he was a leadoff hitter for most of the time. Had some power, was an extra base hitter. Definitely was a good average hitter as well. Extra base hits as well was in there too. I can't remember if he won a batting title or not, but he definitely finished his career strong with a .292 batting average as well. He played more than 1,600 games. He was a few hits shy of 1,800, had 226 home runs, almost 800 RBIs. He's a 4-time All-Star as well. Definitely probably fit up maybe some of the better Rockies for sure, such as like, a Todd Helton or a Carlos Gonzalez. I don't know if I would consider him a Hall of Famer, though. I feel like he's kind of come up a little bit short there. But he was still definitely a key piece and exciting player in the Rockies lineup. Definitely a few players, though, to play his entire career, though, in the majors with one team. We all, of course, thought Nolan Arenado could have done that with the Rockies when he signed that 8-year deal. But then he got traded to the Cardinals. But, that's that there. But congratulations to Charlie Blackmon on a great career, and we wish you the best in your retirement. Second player who announced their retirement, who planned to retire, is James Paxton, who was traded to the Red Sox, I believe it was, in the trade deadline. But he retired after an 11-year career. He definitely got hampered by a lot of injuries. Yeah, he still at one point was a key starting pitcher for the Seattle Mariners for a while. And then he did go with the Yankees. I think he had a couple other little stops here and there with a few other players as well. But he definitely at one point was a strong middle-of-the-rotation starting pitcher as well. Again, just some injuries definitely just kind of like nagged him off for the last couple of years of his career. But yes, he also, of course, finished off a solid career, 377 earned run average. He got his 1,000th strikeout this past season on July 30th against his former teammate Justin Turner. He made 177 appearances. All-Stars, had a 73-41 record with also a pair of complete games as well. His only shutout was a memorable one, the no-hitter he had in his home country. He had roughly about 14 above replacement. And again, he also had a very fine career, not a Hall of Famer, but a very solid, underrated career for sure as well. And we wish him the best in his retirement as well. Next one is Matt Adams, announced his retirement as well at 36 years old. Adams, who kind of was a little bit of a journeyman, was known, of course, mostly for his time with the with the St. Louis Cardinals. Of course, he was kind of part of like a crowded lineup at the time of the Cardinals because at the time I believe they had him, Matt Carpenter. They also had Alan Craig. Remember Alan Craig? He was like briefly like supposed to be the next Albert Pujols for the Cardinals. Had that one really good year where he got all those RBIs, and then he just became a nobody after that. But yeah, he definitely was more of like a part-time player throughout his career, but he was someone who was definitely a great contributor as well. He definitely contributed when the Cardinals were in the playoffs. He also, of course, as well, moved around a few times. He went with the Nationals. I think he was briefly with the Braves. He also briefly returned to the Cardinals again. Back and forth and whatnot. But yeah, like I said, he was more of a part-time player for sure. Definitely a reliable bat. Again, mainly the first time with the Cardinals. He finished with a career batting average of .258 in 2,614 games, 624 hits, 118 home runs, 130 doubles. And also he participated in 3 different postseasons, 2013, 2014 with the Cardinals, in 2019 also with the Nationals when he won the World Series. Of course, he's probably the one who put the dagger in the Pirates 2013 postseason run, but that was still a fun series for sure. But Matt Adams as well, and also he's a former graduate of Slippery Rock University, just a little bit north of me. I know a few people who went to Slippery Rock. But congratulations to Matt Adams as well, as he retires as well. Speaking of former Pirates as well, Mark Melancon recently announced he joined San Diego State's coaching staff, which seemingly cements the end of another career for him. He has not pitched in the majors since 2022, and he's 39 years old, and he had a 14-year big league campaign. He was originally selected by the Yankees. He then, of course, ended up on 9 different teams. Of course, first time I remember him was when he was with the Astros and was briefly their closer. I think he was really that good, to be honest. But then, of course, he eventually he went to the Red Sox, and then he came to the Pirates. He came to the Pirates in the Joel Hanrahan trade. And that's, I think, where he really found his groove. He, for a while, was the setup man, and him and Jason Grilli were like some of two of the best, like, 8th and 9th inning combos they've had in a long time. Both of them making the All-Star team as well. When Grilli was hurt, or when Grilli got traded, Melancon took over as closer, and he was outstanding. During his time with the Pirates in 3+ seasons, he had a 1.80 ERA and 130 saves as well in a Buccos uniform. He was named to 3 All-Star teams during that stretch as well, and he finished 8th in the Cy Young Award voting in 2015, proposing a league best 51 saves. He was traded, of course, to the Nationals. Eventually, he did bounce around with a couple other teams as well, still putting in some great all-star runs as well. He also, of course, earned one final all-star for the Padres when he pitched a 2.23 ERA and 39 saves. He got to a 2-year deal with the Diamondbacks in December 2021 after that season, but Melancon struggled in 2022 and then missed of all 2023 due to a shoulder injury. And again, he seems to be moving on as well, as he is now a part of the San Diego State coaching staff. So Mark Melancon, congratulations as well to your career as well. Mark the Shark, I always think of every time I hear the song Thunderstruck by AC/DC, I always think of when he they play his hype video, he was the Pirates closer. Awesome video as well. I fell in love with that song because of that video. So congratulations, Mark the Shark, as well, and hope for the best for you in your post-playing career as well. Last one is Daniel Hudson, who also retired after he won the World Series with the Dodgers this year. He played 15 big league seasons playing with several teams: Dodgers, Padres, Nationals, Blue Jays, Pirates, Diamondbacks, and White Sox. A very lengthy career. He retires at 37 years old, more of like a late inning reliever as well. Had some good campaigns as well, and he altogether pitched 855 and a third of an inning, and he got to go with the 21 postseason innings as well. He won 65 games and saved 43 altogether. Struck out 817 batters as well. And appeared in a total of 537 games as well. So we, of course, glad to see that Daniel Hudson was able to finish his career as well on a strong note with a World Series victory. I know Kevin Kiermaier, who I do remember talking about a few months earlier, announced he was going to retire as well at the end of the season. So both those guys, congrats to both you guys and ending your careers as World Series champions, and I wish your guys best as well in your retirements. All right, a few transactions here. First, the team that's made some moves so far is the Los Angeles Angels, as they had made a couple moves. First, immediately after the World Series ended, the day after, they acquired Jorge Soler from the Braves. Soler, of course, I think it was in the first of a 3-year deal with the Giants, I think, was traded to the Braves during the trade deadline, was not able to rally back up the Braves, getting back to the World Series as he did a couple of years earlier. But he is joining the Angels team, which of course always seems to have some good players, but doesn't ever seem to click. We'll see how it goes for Soler, who is definitely one of baseball's inconsistent hitters. When he's on fire, he's on fire. But when, of course, he's cold as ice. He also, gets injured here and there as well. So we'll see what he does with the Angels. The Angels also signed former Cub Kyle Hendricks on a 1-year contract as well, who is 35 years old. It'll be the first time he'll be playing for a new team in his career. He, of course, was a strong pitcher when the Cubs were definitely the World Series caliber team in the mid-2010s. Of course, he has fallen off a little bit. He has gotten older. He's rebounded a few times, but he is now testing free agency and still planning to pitch in 2025. So he is going to be going to the Angels, and we'll see how he can contribute as well. And finally, the Angels also signed a new catcher, Travis d'Arnaud, signing him to a 2-year deal. Also, after he did not return to the Atlanta Braves as well. So again, the Angels, very hit or miss team. Some years are exciting. There's been a lot of times they've been kind of disappointing. Although they've been a team where they signed all the big names, and the chemistry just isn't there. But these are some nice pieces, if healthy, have good histories. So, we'll see how this goes for the Angels. Getting to a opt-out storyline here. Gerrit Cole has originally opted out of his contract with the New York Yankees. A couple of days later, he signed a brand new deal. 4 years, and $144 million. Although he did not trigger his opt-out clause, but the extension conversation, of course, will continue as well. Yeah, Cole in 2020 had signed a 9-year deal, $324 million. Now he's on a new 4-year deal, $144 million as well. So probably just wanted a little bit more money. This is one of the first seasons that Cole did kind of have some injuries. He did perform at an ace level still, but of course he was limited with a couple injuries. He of course would make 17 starts this past year with a 3.41 ERA. But of course he did start off a little slow when he came back from his injuries, having a 6.75 ERA in his first 4 outings, but in his final 13 he posted a 2.67 ERA. So again, a little injury shortened, but hopefully Cole will bounce back. He's only a couple years older than me, I think it is. He's like 2 years older than me. So, he'll bounce back. He's still again is early getting into mid-30s, but he's still going strong. But that's probably the biggest deal of an opt-out. The Cardinals, who also I forgot to make a graphic for, parted ways with Paul Goldschmidt. I think just 1 year after he won the MVP award, they parted ways with him. And they announced that they're moving Wilson Contreras to first base next year. Longtime catcher who was signed basically to be Yadier Molina's replacement, but there's a lot more catching depth to the rebuilding Cardinals team, who are definitely, you can't say post Albert Pujols, because Pujols came back just for the last year of his career in 2022, 23, whichever one it was. I can't remember now. But he came back for one last year, and of course Adam Wainwright, and then of course the biggest person Well, the biggest longtime player for them for sure was Yadier Molina. That catching position is definitely going to be tough to replace with Yadi retiring. Wilson Contreras has always been known for his hitting. Solid defender, but no Yadier Molina. But with them being a lot of more depth on the team, the catching position with Ivan Herrera and Pedro Pages will be split in time behind the plate as well. Of course, they will probably have Contreras suiting up as well, but they probably want to get his bat more in the lineup, and they need a new first baseman. So he definitely appears to, be getting more time there to definitely get his bat in there as well. And again, I'm still surprised they definitely did not re-sign Paul Goldschmidt for sure. But we'll see where Goldie goes if he continues to play as well. And finally, the last piece of news to talk about that just got announced this week. The Houston Astros will be having a new name for their ballpark, as Minute Maid Park will be renamed Dakin Park, which will remain the name in place through the 2039 season. Do not rush time. Do not rush time. Please don't. Dakin Park, Dakin, let me see if I can find information of who they are. I think there's some type of like a insurance company. Let me look this up. What is Dakin Park Astros? Let me see. What is this named after? I had it there. Oh, Dakin Comfort Technologies is what they are. So basically, they're probably like a technology type company. So yeah, that's the end of an era with Minute Maid Park, as that's been a thing going for since like 20 years now, because there was the Astrodome and then Minute Maid Park, but of course Minute Maid Park's a whole new park, but yeah, Dakin Park is now the new home for the Houston Astros. Same park before, just a new name. And guys, that is going to do it for this baseball news video. Again, I kind of fly through things like usual, but just wanted to get some thoughts out there. We'll pay attention to more to news as the winter meetings approach. We still got big names like Juan Soto on the block. Well, he's a free agent, which I still think he would be insane not to re-sign with the Yankees. A guy who can't accept a 15-year deal, $400 million from the Nationals, is not going to leave the New York Yankees. I'm sorry, Juan Soto is staying. But we'll talk about that when that time comes. But until then, guys, I'm checking out. What are your guys' thoughts on all the baseball news we talked about? Dodgers winning the World Series, the injuries, the transactions, Wilson Contreras going to first base, new name for the Houston Astros. What are your guys' thoughts on this? Leave your guys' thoughts again down in the comment section below. Slap a like on the video and subscribe for more content on my channel. Follow me on Twitter as well, The Club of the Man 93. Also follow me on TikTok and Instagram, The Club of the Man 1993. And until then, guys, I'm checking out. I will catch you all later. Have a great rest of your night, and do not forget, in order to be superior to the man, you've got to be the man. And for I am the man himself, and that is not just an opinion, my friends. That is a fact of life. Yeah!